Here's a W man who's going viral now because he wants to build an all-white city, right, in places like Arkansas and Missouri. He has a thing, RTTL, Return to the Land. His name is Eric Aarvoll, right? And everybody's outraged and upset because he wants to do something for their people and their group, and he wants to build it over there. And they're saying it's racism, it's discrimination. My whole thing is, if they don't want to be around us, let them go over into the corner by themselves out in the woods. Let them stay out there, right? If they don't want to progress and move forward. Well, this guy was on TMZ, and TMZ asked him this question. Check it out.
Why is European heritage the purest form of European heritage, something that you embrace to the exclusion of others?
For something to be what it is, it has to not be other things.
Yeah, Aarvoll, he wants to keep W traditions on. He wants to go back to making America great at a time when they had all the rights and all the rules and everybody was subject to them. They want to still be in power, and he feels as though they can't be white, right, in an all-inclusive society. It's no way for them to exercise their values. So they want to keep their bloodlines pure. They feel like they're more intelligent, right, than everybody else. And to mix the bloodlines would be to water them down, right? He talks about this. You know, they're proud of their heritage and where they come from and all the things that they've accomplished right here in America and around the world. And they want to preserve that. And by doing that, they want to separate from everybody else and build their own situations where nobody else can be involved. But then it doesn't stop people want to come in and grift. You have a lot of black people that want to be honorary W folks, and they want to have a pass to get in whenever they want. And they do that by talking down on black people in other communities, as if these people would give them a pass. One of these people that we're talking about is the Hodge twins. Now, we know that they came onto the scene. They were like bodybuilders and comedians and saying a bunch of just goofy stuff. I used to see them from time to time. I just thought that they was a bunch of goofballs. But at some point, their channel started to fail, so they switched over into the conservative way of thinking. But the black conservatives' way of being conservatives is to talk down on your own people. And a lot of black people that really used to watch them started to get wind of this, and they said this.
Somebody needs to study the fall off of the Hodge twins. Because I was really thinking about that. I was like, is this a case of like chasing the bag and also inadvertently fumbling a future bag? Now listen to me. I'm not here to talk about anything that they do outside of that. Because I'm reminiscing on what they used to be and how them transitioning into what they are right now could have potentially earned them more money. Now hear me out. The reason why the Hodge twins started to like change the way that they were making money was because of the adpocalypse on YouTube. So they started their own channel called the Hodge Twins TV and stuff like that. And they wanted people to subscribe to that because the YouTube monetization process had like changed and switched over. And their content didn't necessarily follow the YouTube guidelines. Didn't even follow any guidelines right now, especially with this PC stuff that we have now. Now, were they inadvertently political or did they say anything that was terrible? Not really. They just talked gratuitously about sex. That's basically what they did. But their kind of raunchiness reminded me of another comedian, which would be Joey. Yes. And when I say that hit me the other day, and I thought to myself, these dudes had the potential to shift into stand-up comedies. They were doing tours. They were killing it in that. And when they were killing it in that, I was thinking to myself, they have the potential to start going mainstream into movies, especially like Seth Rogen movies, like them two being these two big black, light-skinned, raunchy brothers that are twins just makes sense in those kind of movies. Judd Apatow would have loved the Hodge twins, right? And I think to myself, that potential was screwed up because they thought to themselves, the conservative money will always be consistent and will always be coming. It's always going to be there.
At some point, these two guys were loved, and a lot of people watched them. They respected them. They liked the content. I wasn't really into these dudes' content like that, but a lot of people said that they could have really went to Hollywood, right? They could have been like did action movies or something like that. They were comedians. They were funny, right? But then they switched over because they understood that the money was in this so-called talking down on your own people, because they found out that, well, they started gaining weight, stop looking as good as they used, I guess, right, working out, right? And they switched over to this black conservatism, right? And like I said, a lot of people got wind of this. So people started to take to social media, and they said the Hodge twins they would put up content talking bad about people. They would say the kids get in on it too. If you think the blacks today are bad, just wait for the next generation, right? And somebody said white people are creating whites only towns, and people act like they don't know why, right? So they're really getting in on all this stuff, right? Then they said the black blank are always the worst, and they was talking about the trans, right? Next level of black fatigue unlocked, right? Black blank fatigue. So they start catering to all this stuff. Then they put up something, black guy with a backpack and a black hoodie embarrassing himself in AutoZone when the manager was watching him. So they find all the things that they can use to basically disparage black people in the black community, right? Now these men, their mother was black, right? They come from a black family, but again, they're grifting to make money, and they're sacrificing their integrity, right? They do this. Brandon Tatum's done it. Candace Owens done it. All of them. But the people caught wind of this, and they just really exposing them online. Check it out.
The Hodge twins have officially lost all of my respect. Now, I don't know why I still held on to this idea that these guys had anything of, I guess, any value to actually say, like beyond just comedic relief. But, I actually started to believe these guys when they said that they stood on true conservative values and they were America first. And I guess they were just overall genuine guys who believed in the things they were saying. But it turns out that they decided to expose themselves, I guess, unknowingly. I don't exactly know how these guys process information necessarily, but just take a look at this. Now, here we have two posts by the twins that came from two different accounts or two different social media platforms. One is Facebook, the other is on X. And these messages are no more than 2 hours in between. So let me go ahead and start with the X post, shall we? This reads, "We don't get nearly as excited for the potential for war as the bootlickers and the neocons do. We will always hold the line and speak up against war, whether we are right or wrong in the end." Fantastic. They're standing up in opposition to the stance that DJT has made, as they have for the last few days. Then hours later, they put this message out to a different audience on Facebook. "President Trump just unleashed America's might, ordering a devastating attack on Iran's nuclear sites as Fordo, Natanz, and Lord, forgive me before I say this one, Esfahan, crushing their dangerous ambitions. For 14 years, Trump's been crystal clear. Iran cannot have nuclears or nukes, and he's following through with a historic strike that's got the world in awe. A full payload of bombs raining down, and our brave warriors made it home safe." Oh, wow. Look at the Patriots go. Two different people, or I guess technically they are two different people, they're twins, right? But two contradicting messages that are taking place on two different platforms.
You know that the Hodge twins, they like to watch other videos and give their commentary on it, right? So they're watching this guy Eric Aarvoll and him wanting to create his own white town, and these guys are like goofballs. So they have a lot of people outraged because they went on and said this stupid stuff.
To be honest, I don't want to live in in the United States of America if it's not majority white. Once it becomes majority non-white, it's going to be a much different country. It's going to be a much different country. Well, that's just a fact. If you just look at voting statistics, how ethnicities other than white vote, this country would be totally different. So I understand the fear of white people want to live in a country that's majority non-white. I understand that fear wholeheartedly because I don't want to live in a country that's majority non-white because it would systematically change our country.
So these guys is scripting and being goofballs and saying that they don't want to live in America if America's not majority white folks, right? And they're saying that if America is not majority, they want to move, they want to leave here, right? And the crazy thing is, He's not the only person that's talking like this. We all know Myron. We know Myron wants to kiss behind, be over there with those W folks to the point where he was online talking like this.
America is a nation, not just from an economic standpoint, but we also have an identity too, a cultural identity. And I'll tell you guys this too. As someone who's a first generation American, my family's from Sudan, etc., I should not be saying this stuff, but I'm going to be honest. A lot of these guys that come from the third world, to include my old homeland, come here and scam. And the reality is, if we want America to stay America, we got to keep it majority white. We got to keep it the way it was founded.
While Myron and people like the Hodge twins like to run interference for these groups, right? They hate them worse. They dislike them worse. They don't like them. And they show it. So Myron got into an argument. One of these guys he was called a sand N-word, right? And Myron was pissed because he was going after his own people coming from Sudan, talking about how they come here scamming. He was talking about black folks, and he was going in. And those W folks was just listening. Like, look at this guy, man. He'd do anything to be over here with us, knowing that he's beneath us and we don't like him. So he ended up getting into an argument with these guys because they wouldn't accept him. Check this out.
Sitting behind a Anon account, can't even stand behind what the you saying. You got the nerve to talk to me when I got my real name out there, my real face out there. I'm live every day talking about actually contributing to the fight, and you got the gall to sit there and call me a sand, you piece of shit. I hope you wake up and have the replay of this, and I hope I come on a space I can see your dumb and actually talk to you. This is the problem that we have in these spaces. We got these stupid, autistic that will sit there and say, well, you're not white, so you can't talk about this, or you're... And it's like, okay, Reed, you want to go ahead and have this fight by yourself where no one's going to take you seriously because they're going to just think you're a kid member? That's the problem. And you know what's also funny? I'm one of the biggest advocates for white people being able to practice and say white power, be able to maintain their relationship with white women, etc. I'm actually one of the biggest proponents of white people being able to say, hey, I want to keep my race white. I actually respect that, and I fight for their ability to say that. Then you get dads like this guy that come in and try to on one of their biggest advocates that has a platform that's of the other color saying this stupid. Idiots like you make me realize, damn, I shouldn't even be defending these. You're lucky that I really respect freedom of speech, and I'm a free speech absolutist, so I'll fight for your ability to say the stupid ass that you say, you stupid.
That shows Byron, being a super, trying to kiss behind and be over there with them, but they let them know you're not accepted, bro. You're a little too dark. You can't be over here with us, right? But let's get back to the Hodge twins. The Hodge twins, they went on to Twitter and said something to the guy Aarvoll. And they was asking him could they come to their town, right? So they came when they said, "Hey Aarvoll, I know your community is whites only, but could you make exceptions for us two Negroes? We're not full sub-Saharan. We're over 40% white." This is crazy, man. So and the dude Aarvoll said, "God bless the Hodge twins, but no," right? And these are but this is the thing. They probably being goofy and being funny because these guys are goofballs, but there's a lot of black people that really think like this. The Tommy Sotomayor's, the Candace Owens, when she said that she married for IQ and she's married to a W man, so we know what she meant when she said that, right? Myron, a lot of these groups that come over from overseas, they really want to be with this group. They feel like they can't advance if they're not under the tutelage or under the nipple of these people, man. And they're saying, hey, we don't want to be around you guys. You guys are not smart enough. You're sub-Saharan. Anything below the sub-Saharan is not on our level. Their level of IQ is below us. And they're holding us back. And they're forcing us to be ashamed of being a W folk. Right? So we want to separate from them because they're holding us back, right? They're keeping societies back. They're too slow. This is the way that they think about us, right? And a lot of black folks think that same way about themselves, and they think that they can't survive without being around this group and these people. So this is the way it go, man. So you have a lot of people switching up their content to go over to the conservative sector, knowing darn well that they're not accepted, knowing darn well that they don't talk like this at the family barbecue. They know how I go, man. But that's just where it's at, because you can grift online. Because as I told you online, you can be the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. If you're charismatic enough and you can talk good enough, you can come on here and be any goddamn body and make money. But I'm going to cut this video short here. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.